Welcome to the Purple Party known as Purple Nerd Channel, home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. Now then, for a really long time, I have been wanting to talk on this channel about the group Madhouse and their two albums, 8 and 16. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of information about these two albums. But I recently discovered that there was a film featuring music from Madhouse that was directed by Prince, but never released. So real quick on Madhouse, in case you didn't know, Madhouse released two albums, 8 and 16. And yes, both albums are instrumentals. Originally, it was rumored that the band was led by Eric Leeds, and it was really like a spin-off of The Revolution. But the band was actually Eric Leeds on saxophone and flute, and Prince on everything else. 8 was released January 19th, 1987, peaking at number 25 on the R&B charts. There was a single released for the song 6, which hit number 5 on the R&B charts. A video was actually filmed for the song 6, but for whatever reason, it was never released. 16 was released on November 18th, 1987, and unfortunately did not chart. And that was with two singles being released. Those singles being 10, which peaked at number 66 on the R&B charts, and 13, which unfortunately did not chart. "16 is slightly different than 8 as it does feature some additional musicians, those being Levi Caesar Jr., Sheila E., and Dr. Fink on 3 of the songs. They planned on doing a third Madhouse album called 24. At one time, it was planned to be released in 1989 and then again in 1994. This time, though, the band would be Prince, Eric Leeds, Michael Bland, Sonny T, and Levi Caesar Jr. So let's go ahead and talk about this film. It is a short film, and I'm assuming it was filmed sometime during the recording of 16 or after the recording of 16. The name of the film is Hard Life, and like I said before, it features music by Madhouse. The film was produced by Shade Tree Productions, and according to the credits, was misdirected by Prince. The film stars Wally Safford, Greg Brooks, and Jill Jones, and features the majority of Prince's band from the Sign of Times tour, with Dr. Fink's mom and Prince's dad making appearances. The film opens up with two bums, Puff and Danny, played by Wally Safford and Greg Brooks. They're begging for change when they get confronted by an older rich lady who basically belittles them in front of everybody, which in turn turns into a street fight and they end up beating her up, which of course lands them in jail. And while in jail, Puff begs Danny to kill him, which of course he refuses. And then we get to hear them complain about how their life is terrible and is so just awful being broke. Then they find out they've been bailed out by famous singer Gillian.
Ain't you that famous dame singer? Yeah, ain't you?
Gillian Stoneheart.
Played by Jill Jones, who just happened to see the whole altercation. She invites them back to her mansion where she's thrown a gigantic house party, with Madhouse performing. She puts them to work as servers, but then Puff gets sidetracked and participates in a high-stakes game of pool. The game is interrupted when Puff ends up beating up one of the drunken male guests for taking a pass at him. The party continues on though, and during the chaos of the party, Puff and Danny start robbing the house when a drunk Gillian catches them and decides to take Puff into a back room and give him some of that lovin'. But she ends up still having them arrested, putting them back in jail, only for her to bail them out again, claiming that it was simply a misunderstanding, and for whatever reason leaves them with a stack of cash. There's really not a lot of information about this film other than the fact that it was filmed in 1987, and as you can tell, it features everybody that Prince knows. So who knows how long it took to film this? It was probably a 1 or 2 day shoot, and it was obviously filmed around random places in Minneapolis. And the cut of this, which I found on YouTube, and I'll have a link for that down below, it has to be like a work print because it's really rough. And I'm not talking about the quality of the film, the quality of the direction, the quality of the script, or the quality of the acting. I'm talking about the actual footage itself. It's missing dialogue at times. Some of the music just disappears and then comes back in. You can hear like the crew moving around and making noise. So this is obviously not finished, but I don't know how much better it would be if it was finished, but who knows? Maybe they'll do like a Madhouse Super Deluxe edition, and they'll take this film and clean it up and finish it, and then include, the album 8 and 16, and then the unreleased album 24, and package that all up together. And the more I say this, the better it actually sounds. So let's go ahead and do that. I need my Madhouse Super Deluxe edition with this weird film, Madhouse 24 that never came out, remaster, all that stuff, put it together. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Thank you again for joining me on the channel. Please like and share this video. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. And if you got a moment, go check out my Patreon page. I will have all the information for that, as well as all my other social media links, in the description down below. I will see you on the next episode, where I go and break down 3 different versions of one song by Prince, but done by 3 different acts. And until that next episode, I wish you heaven.